In astronomy, we talk about billions of years like it's no big deal. But how can we be sure about timescales so far beyond the capacity for human intuition? Our discovery of what we now call deep time is very recent as our discovery of the true spatial vastness of our universe. And it came as scientists tried to measure the age of the Earth. What they found was as shocking and humbling as anything ever seen.
Scientists are just like everybody else. They worry about their reputations, their jobs, their futures. Criticising Darwin's theories is liable to damage all these, and also their career opportunities.
Professor Dean H. Kenyon taught development biology at San Francisco State University and is an acknowledged expert in his own field. He has written a book about lifeless chemicals becoming living organisms.
And so I guess I would say I was a convinced neo-Darwinist and a chemical evolutionist. It became increasingly difficult for me to provide examples of actually observed evolutionary change.
The Ancient One became unhappy with mankind for not honoring him, so he decided to destroy all of them. At the last minute, he decided to save one man along with his wife and children because they were such hard workers. So the Ancient One went to the family and said, "You need to stop working in the maize field and do what I tell you, because I'm going to destroy all the people in the world except for you." Then he told them to find the biggest cedar tree in the forest, cut it down, and hollow out a huge canoe. Then to fill the canoe with food and water, for soon the Ancient One would make it rain harder than it had ever rained.
But the discovery of radioactivity also gave us our most accurate way to figure out the age of chunks of Earth through radiometric dating. Unstable atomic nuclei decay into light nuclei by splitting or by ejecting particles.
Munich Technical University's professor of microbiology, Siegfried Scherher, has made a detailed study of species changes. He has found several problematic areas relating to evolutionary theory. Yet many of his professional colleagues are not interested in a detailed study of the problems.
I think it is very disturbing that usually this discussion is very, very difficult. And people are not willing to discuss different points of view, diverging points of view. That things are already settled and they don't like to go into any detail in discussion.
There's something wrong. Yum, yum. What happened?
The Scottish geologist James Hutton wandered Britain, pondering the ages of its rock formations. He became convinced that they were formed when molten rock pushed through the crust from Earth's interior. This directly gave us igneous rocks like granite and basalt.
In his latest book, Wolfe argues speech, not evolution, is responsible for humanity's highest achievements. He skewers the man who introduced evolution to the masses, Charles Darwin, along with famed linguist Noam Chomsky.
I came to the conclusion that Darwinism, the theory of evolution, is another myth. And it's no use saying that human beings evolved from animals, because they're creatures with totally different powers. If you have the power of speech, that's also the power of memory.
It is bold, and I think some would say very dangerous, to say that Darwinism and evolution is a myth.
Well, I think a lot of people don't agree with me. But the problem with evolution is you have to wait 6 or 7 million years. It's a little hard to...
It's been unleashed, but we must face the fact that we have caused a crack in the Earth's crust.
A crack in the world. Gentlemen, don't let's fall apart. We have work to do, please. We must hear Dr. Rampion complete his report. You were saying that the crack is extending to the east.
Along the Macedo Trench. It's following a geological flaw in the Earth's crust
known as the Macedo Fourth. That runs from here to the tip of India, then veers across towards Indonesia, and terminates off the Australian continental shelf.
Steady, Denny. It's a long way down.
I believe it is important that we understand that the study of evolution, the study of the origins, is not like the study of plants and of animals. Because our worldview is so important for the interpretation of our data, we have the problem that people with a very different worldview reach very different conclusions.
Scientists who are critical of evolutionary theory in its different forms have begun to speak publicly more and more frequently, and dozens of books critical of evolution have been published in recent years.
At its worst, the battle between the evolutionists and the anti-evolutionists can have drastic consequences. Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe has mathematically questioned the possibility of evolutionary theory. When he did so, he had little idea of the consequences.
A friend of mine asked Wickramasinghe to lecture on the subject at a seminar. He wrote to him in England and received no reply. 6 months later, a letter came from Sri Lanka in which Wickramasinghe said that he had been threatened to the point that someone had said he would burn down his house with him and his family inside it.